Morning, it's Barbara. I'm not sure why I'm showing you this because our sensor out on the tree needs a battery change, so I don't know what the temperature is outside. But, you know, tradition. Dennis reminded me I didn't take a picture of Wally. Good morning, it's Barbara. Look at me. Look at me. Ha ha ha. I did it. I Kitchenered the top. Now, keeping in mind, this is all curled up. This is going to have the edge with a cord in it to so that I can tie it off. But I think the hood is just kind of perfect size. Not too much. It's not too pointy. Oh, it's pretty pointy. Pretty pointy. Oh, well. There you go. I'm just not going to work that hard on a hood. I'm sorry. The recipe. The pattern is just has this really complicated short row hood that is done on two sides and then seamed in the middle. I'm just like, I'm sorry. It looked gorgeous. Maybe my third one I'll do that. We'll see. So I'm going to pick up the stitches all the way around. I'm going to use as much of this as I can, and what if I need more, then it'll be this. And make a channel for a real cord, because this is, I should show you, hold on, this is a sweatshirt. Hold on. Okay, so it is a sweatshirt. It's got the kangaroo pocket, and it's big, roomy, thick, warm. I am so excited. Now, I brought another sweater down because I thought this was going to be too much to wear today, but it's pretty cozy, so I'm not taking it off. So this is my Montrealer close to being done. Now, keeping in mind that the rest of the sweater is all finished. All the ends are woven in. I did not block it. I did not block it. And this is what it looks like when it's the hood's not on. Now, like I said, it's going to look different, but you know, finishing that hood could end up being, you know, like a spring project. The problem is it works really, really well right now without any changes. So, I mean, like my Korean, still haven't blocked my Korean because it's by my chair. And in full rotation. Good morning. I'm Barbara. And you are very welcome. And it is not actually morning anymore. That's how close my good morning was earlier. All right. So, for the happy mail / beauty portion of our show, my friend Karen called me yesterday and said, oh, I put something in the mail the other day. And I think maybe she has like alerts on her phone that tell her when her packages are delivered, because this got delivered yesterday. And it was such a lovely thing for her to do. This is Mary Kay. Now, I like Mary Kay. My friend who was my Mary Kay dealer passed this summer. She was very ill. But I used to get the full face everything from her, from Mary Kay, and for decades, almost 2 decades, because the first package of Mary Kay that I had ordered that she brought me on my 50th birthday. I am soon at my 71st birthday, so it was a long time. But a few years ago, they changed the formula of the stuff I bought, and it had retinol in it, and I couldn't use it anymore. Now, this is a light gel, oil-free hydrating gel. And I looked up the ingredients, and there is no retinol in it. And I confess, I opened it yesterday, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of in love with this lavender color. But it has a very light scent. But I put some on my hand, And I could smell it for a while, so I'm not positive this is going to work. But if it doesn't, I'll be really sad, because how fun is that gorgeousness? She said if it doesn't work for me, I should give it to Kim. She knows Kim. And Kim got my last one that I couldn't wear. All right, but this is the music channel. No, beauty channel. This is the beauty channel. So I'm putting just a little bit, trying not to put too much. It soaks in. This is one of the ones that, you know, soak in as you would expect. I think I used too much. Well, it'll be a good test, because if too much isn't too much in the scent department, then it'll be great. It feels good. Feels good, and it soaks in pretty quickly. I noticed that yesterday when I put it on my hand. So, not really getting the smell. So anyway, thank you, Karen. Those of you who come to the Zoom calls, that Karen is the Karen. I think do we have more than one Karen? Not usually. Beautiful. I'm sorry. Is that lovely? That is just lovely. Who doesn't want to use lovely things? All right. So now the next part of our beauty is, of course, my lipstick. I think every lipstick I have will go with this sweater. Oh my God. I am just so happy with this Montrealer. Well, I was a bit jealous of my granddaughter when I was making hers, I will admit. All right, I'm just gonna go, I'm sticking my hand in, I'm jiggling it around, and whatever I get, I think it's gonna work. Oh, this is clear. I don't want clear. I cheated my own games. Okay, and that's clear. You know, they're gloss. They're like clear gloss. That's an empty box. Okay, this isn't working. Here's one. So much for that, you know, drum roll, please. This is icing on top. This is the orangey red lipstick that I got. This is the same style as what I got from my granddaughter. She gave me her sample. This one is the same stuff. And it's red, I think, but it's red-orange. The other one is more to the blue. I don't know. With this sweater, it looks pretty orange to me. I mean, it's not pretty orange. Now, this lasts a long time. So I will be having these orange lips all day. This is called Matte Lip Cream by NYX. You know how you have enough time to mush it around, but then it dries. But it doesn't dry obnoxious. The other one I had dried obnoxious. I just threw it away. I didn't like the way it felt on my lips. I have not put this in water yet to figure out if it's soap. Just follow up. I haven't done that. Okay, now, obviously, I was working on my knitting because I finished my hood. I didn't finish my hood, but I attached my hood so that I could wear it like a hood. Now, you know, it's all curled up, but I'm very happy with it. And then we'll have this color around. And I just don't think it's really shocking to have a completely different yarn up there. It's working for me. I wasn't sure, I'll be honest. I wasn't sure, but I was just like, I need to get moving on this. So, I did that, but that's not what I did first. The first thing I did was I finished a couple rows on the second sleeve, and where is my, I'm missing a penguin. Hold on, I gotta find my penguin. Got it. I 100%, if I guarantee you that if I hadn't gotten it, Maisie would have found it for me. Maisie would have definitely found it for me. So, and this one just came off, so I need to jam them in better. I'm leaving my penguins. I have to say, you know, when I got these on my advent, I didn't even know what they were. You guys had to tell me what they were for. But they are so adorable. And they have nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland as far as I could tell. And that was the theme of the box. But I am so happy that she put these in there because aren't they beautiful? They've got the texture. They're adorable. And they work like a charm. Anyway. Trilogy yarn. That was my advent. I'm getting another one from her next year. I was very, very happy with my yarn, I can tell you. My advent. So anyway, I did the last few rows to finish this, because you can see that the pattern on this is two color rounds, and then one, and then two with a different color. Now, if you're doing the Trove as, oh, I forgot my hanger. If you're doing the Trove as written, you would be alternating 4 colors in this pattern. 2 rows of one color, 1 row of one color, 2 rows. It's actually 2 rows to get that stitch pattern in, but you know what I mean. 2 sets of one color, 1 set of one color, 2 sets, and it goes like that. And that is what I have done on this version of the Trove. But of course, I am not using 4 colors. These are the colors. These are all the minis that I got in my advent this year and last year from Megan, my friend in New Zealand, who is an amazing yarn dyer. And I cannot tell you how in love I am with this sweater. So I haven't been doing a ton of knitting for a while. I've been very low mojo, which turned out to be good for my arm. So I started this in the summer, maybe last spring, because I recall that I definitely decided not to bring it with me to my trip to Idaho in August, because it was just too big. I mean, it's a huge thing. So I was working on this for a long time, and when I came back, while I was in Idaho, I bought the yarn for my road trip cowl that I bought from Trilogy Yarn, and that's when I was reminded that Nancy had come to the Zoom one time, and please let her name be Nancy. If I've got that wrong, I'm going to feel like a real jerk, because I didn't remember when I was talking about Trilogy that I had met her. Anyway, I walked into a yarn shop in Boise, and I just went, I have no idea what else they had in that yarn shop. It was on a rack as you walked in the door, and I'm like, oh my God. And I bought 2 skeins of unicorn farts from Trilogy Yarn, and I love that. And as Kristi and I were doing our road trip home, I wound that yarn in my lap in the car and cast on that cowl. And I knit that cowl while we were driving, and finished it after I got home. And that would have been the end of August. And then I picked up this and I finished the body of it over the fall. Now, as you could see, I didn't have enough of this yarn, and you were with me when I hemmed and hawed, and I decided to use this beautiful hand spun that my friend gifted me. I had sent her my fleece. When I was clearing out my craft room, I had to move my craft room when Aura came to live with us because we needed to put her sitting room where my craft room was so that we could block it all off for the dogs. So she has this area that's blocked off from the dogs so the dogs can't get in there. She can walk around freely without worrying about being bumped or anything. But so I needed to move my craft room into the other small room that we had been using as a guest room. And in that course of that, I actually de-stashed a little bit. And I sent my friend this beautiful fleece. I think it was a Corridale fleece. And I sent a big box of yarn to another friend who I knew it would use it. And anyway, a few months later, I got a package with I don't know how many pounds of this beautiful hand spun from that fleece. It's just gorgeous. Now, it is slightest bit toothy. But I can tell you right now that I'm completely comfortable in this. I do not have long sleeves under this. I just have a little cami. And I am completely comfortable. And it may be that I was worrying too much about that toothiness. Because I don't have any of this. I only have a tiny, tiny bit of the teal. And I could have made the hood and the hand spun. And I suspect that I could have made the hood and the hand spun. But I was worried that it wouldn't be quite so comfortable on my neck. And so I did. So I took two very pretty, go with it, didn't match, skeins of fingering that are cozy, and I did the hood. So anyway, this is a little background on this sweater, but it took a lot of knitting. It's a big sweater, and I made a very big size so that it would be, you know, it's like when you were a kid and you took your big brother's sweatshirt. That's what I was looking for. I don't have a big brother. Something that cozy. So I worked on this over the fall. And then I worked on a couple of Advent projects. In December. That hat, I can never remember the name of that hat. It's so strange to me that this name just won't stay in my head. And the Scattered Petals cowl that it didn't finish, but I finished the hat. Kristi has it. You can watch her floss tube, the last floss tube that she made, she wears it in the floss tube. So that was a really long story to talk about my knitting journey lately, and I have no idea where I was going with that. I don't know why I brought it up. This is laughing in the kitchen. I rambled too long about it, and now I can't remember why I brought it up. Oh, I remember. Because I am so in love with this trove that I'm making. And I am so thrilled and happy with how my Montrealer turned out. That even though I don't have a lot of finished objects, for a year of knitting, I just don't have that many. I am over the moon with what I do have. And this trove is bringing me so much joy as I'm knitting it, and I can't wait to be able to wear it. And this feels, I mean, this is the longest I've ever worn this sweater because it wasn't finished and it had, you know, whatever. I can tell you right now, this moisturizer gel is going to be great. Thank you so much, Karen. I can't smell it at all. It's so funny because I could stick my nose on my hand yesterday and smell it, but I'm not smelling it on my face. And I put a lot on. I put too much on, and I am not smelling it. So I'm so excited. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. And now I got to find a Mary Kay lady. Are any of you Mary Kay distributors? If you are, let me know. Want to keep it in the community? Otherwise, I'll use Karen's. Because unfortunately my Lori has passed. Anyway, so even though I haven't knit a lot of things and I did not do anything remotely resembling a retrospective come the new year, I am madly in love with this sweater. It's exactly what I wanted. Something big and cozy, and I could wear another sweater under this. If I'm sitting around and feeling chilly, which I do, I could throw this on and use it like a sweatshirt, because I really wanted to use it like a sweatshirt. I will have to wash it gently because of the hand spun, but I am willing to do that. My swatch, I did swatch it with both colors, and I soaked it for a long time because I wanted to make sure that the teal wasn't going to bleed into the hand spun, or I was going to have to, you know, set the dye on the teal, but I didn't have to. It's going to be fine, and I'm very excited about that. Oh, speaking of swatches, I was watching Kristi's new video. My daughter Kristi has Kristi's Corner. It's a floss tube on YouTube, and I will link it below. I don't usually do those things, but I will link it below because she just did a video about how to make a prosperity hen. And apparently these are things that are made in northern India. Chickens are a sign of prosperity because, of course, they're an amazingly versatile animal for a family. In fact, Dennis and I keep every once in a while saying, maybe it's time to get the chickens, because we've been thinking about chickens. But anyway, so these are prosperity chickens, and she has a how to turn them into prosperity chickens, and you start with a square of fabric. Now she has a pattern that she has designed for her first prosperity hen, which is Michelle, pretty sure, Michelle the prosperity hen. And hers is cross stitch, but you can make them out of any square fabric. And it occurred to me as I was watching her that as knitters, if we were, you know, sort of paying attention when we do our swatches, we could turn our swatches into prosperity hens. No, Maisie. No. She keeps putting her foot up on me. Our swatches would make beautiful prosperity hens, and she's planning on making like a garland of them, like 5 of them, and she shows you, you know, I mean, hers are really cute, and she puts beads and spools in between, and you put a bell at the bottom so it rings. But anyway, I'll link to that video down below. But it occurred to me, speaking of swatches, because I was very, very careful to, and I don't usually soak and block my swatches. I'm just trying to see how many stitches, you know. I don't usually wash and block my swatch. I have been known to do that, but I don't usually. I usually only do it when it's some kind of interesting stitch pattern that I'm not sure what it's going to look like. You know, I want to make sure I like the fabric and that kind of thing. But anyway, I washed this one because I wanted to make sure that this teal would not run. Anyway, I'm going to link Kristi's how-to video down here, but I recommend her channel, needless to say. And but as she was doing that prosperity chicken, I'm thinking prosperity hen, I'm thinking that is something that you could do that would be fun and lovely with your swatches. I might be more mindful going forward of my swatches to make sure that I'm making something that turns out to be a square, because these are made with squares, and you could make it all different sizes. There's, you know, nothing to say it has to be 4 by 4 or something like that. Anyway, now I'm really rambling, but I'm very excited about my sweater. This is the Montrealer by a cute guy. I don't remember his name. And the Trove is by Emma Duchin, I think her name is. It was in a, this is the only sweater I've ever knit out of a pom-pom magazine. But I am so in love with it. I cannot tell you. Well, apparently I can, and I can go on, and I can be obnoxious about it. But anyway, so my plan for my Trove is maybe do a couple rows on the sleeve, put it back, and do the bottom, because the bottom is easier on my hands. And I don't know, it could be that my arm was hurting because of the sleeve thing, because I've been, that's the second sleeve. I finished the first sleeve. I'll show you. I finished the first sleeve already. Now this is a drop shoulder, so the sleeve is a little short, but I think I made the sleeve too short, so I made the cuff long. We'll see if that works, whatever. So I have the pink, same base pink, to continue on the sleeve. Now I cut it just because it's easier for me to work on the bottom without having this also attached to a ball of yarn. The pink, you know, stays attached, and then whatever color you use for a while, and then, you know. But if you don't want to deal with ends, this is not the pattern for you. Just telling you right now, there are ends. Now I'm dealing with them as I go along. I'm wrapping them around as I go along, so that, I don't know if you can tell here. Well, I certainly can't, because I don't have my glasses on. But this is the beginning of row, and you can see, this is the one I'm using now, so I haven't done anything with it. You can see that the gold, for example, the ends for the gold are over here, because I've been wrapping as I go. All my ends are far away, because I've been wrapping as I go. So when I go through, oops, what's that? Weird. Okay. So when I'm done with the sweater, I will go through and I will, maybe if something looks like it's loose or it didn't work well or whatever, I'll weave it in a little more, but mostly I'm just going to go through and cut them. But if you can't deal with ends, this is not the sweater for you. I hate to break it to you, but I think that would be pretty obvious looking at it. But that's just me. So I'm giving you also, it's a 4-row repeat, and one of the rows is a purl row. So be aware of that. I know there are people who don't like to purl. One quarter of the rows are purl rows on this, but I'm fine dealing with the ends because I'm madly in love with the sweater. I love my other one that I made, which I made more traditionally, and I wasn't sure, I really wasn't sure how I would like the pink as the base color, but I am in love. So I had to start a new one. I stopped the body where I did because I was at the end of my other skein. I got a new skein for the sleeves, and I still have that for the rest of the sleeves, so that's going to match such as it needs to. And because there's a slight difference in the pink, but not terrible. All right, I'm really going on and on. But I had a lot to talk about. And, yep, this is going to work, Karen. Thank you again, although I thanked her when I talked to her on the phone. But, yeah, this is going to work. All right, I'm sorry. This is really long. I hope, you know, oh, well, whatever. I mean, Dennis didn't even wait for me to finish because he's doing the dishes, which is fine with me. I'm happy about that. But, yeah, because I'm just going on and on. So, I'm going to go now. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.